Hey guys, Night Cruiser MA. I'm over here at Mom South in Foxborough as usual, and today I've got this beautiful 2016 Victory Magnum. Victory basically took their best-selling bike, the Cross Country, and I think their best-looking bike, and changed it to kind of take on some of the modifications that people were doing themselves. They added a 21-inch wheel up front as opposed to the 18 on the Cross Country, and they slammed the rear by about an inch to give you this nice, sleek, low profile, very easy to flat foot for a short guy like me. And in addition to that, this particular bike has a custom paint scheme done by Mom South. Beautiful dark orange metallic with some silver piping in here. Gorgeous, gorgeous color scheme. And but even if you get a non-custom painted Victory Magnum, you'll get a different color scheme than you would with a Cross Country. They all have different graphics and different paints available, so that's pretty cool. And the audio is quite a bit upgraded on the Magnum compared to the Cross Country, including you can get saddlebag lid speakers as well, with a stereo that'll pump out 200 watts, and it's pretty incredible. So we're going to take this thing for a ride, see how it handles, see how it does. I can't wait. Let's go do it. All right, let's get this thing powered up. As you can tell, it's got stock pipes, very, very quiet, easily remedied. What a beautiful paint scheme that is. That is fantastic. So we've got a lowered rear suspension. We actually even have a lowered seat with what feels like a little bit more back support, which is kind of nice. Huh. All right. Smooth, very nice. My gosh, let me go over here a little bit. Man, I'll tell you, one of the first things you notice is how much footroom you have. It is just remarkable. I mean, I think the last thing that I reviewed was the Harley Electroglide, which was really, really cramped for me. And I'm not a tall guy at all. And this thing really just kind of blows both the Harley and the Indians out of the water as far as legroom. I mean, you can just stretch out all day. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. Wow, this is extremely comfortable. All right, let's get out on the street here. I'm going to take a different route here. This is such a beautiful bike. I want to get some beautiful scenery. It's getting kind of fall-like in New England, so take you through a route that if you've paid attention to my channel, you've probably seen the route before, but I'll do it backwards. So one thing to note about Victory, if you are a Polaris fan, which I am, the thing to note about their two brands of motorcycles here is that Victories tend to have more horsepower and Indians tend to have more torque, and so from about 0 to 40 you feel it more on the Indian, and from 40 on up I think Victory just kills it. I think it's just cool. It's cool the way that the bikes are so different. People talk about, well, Polaris, it's all the same. It's really not. They're incredibly different. Wow. So yes, I am extremely flat-footed on this. I mean, I'm just not used to that. I'm such a short guy, and my legs are easily, they're bent. My heels are on the ground. Everything is just fantastically comfortable as far as that goes. So, you know, let me just say this off the bat and get it out of the way, even though I'm sure I'll repeat myself at some point. There is one issue with Victories that I don't know what the deal is, but I've noticed it on basically all of them, and there's just something about the transmission, I can't quite put my finger on it, that feels, I don't know exactly what it is. I can't see behind me. I should remedy that. But I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that the transmission is not like, oh man, you know, maybe I shouldn't have gone that way. Okay. Well, yeah, no. But anyway, ooh, wow, I just bottomed out on that. Yes, I'm a fat guy, I know. Okay, let me go in here. Let me turn around. I think I missed my little turn. Oh, nice turn in. Very easy. Any place I could just turn around here, guys? Really not staying. Don't put the coffee on or anything. Let's just turn it around here, shall we? There we go. All right. Sometimes missing your turn is actually a good thing because you get to do a little bit more kind of tooting around in the low speeds and stuff, and gives you a better idea as to what you're dealing with. But there's a shake here. Let me see if I can duplicate it. Nope, couldn't duplicate it. But there's a certain shake that you get with these transmissions when you're coming out of like first gear, and it's not. Again, these don't have the torque of the Indians, and it's just not confidence inspiring, I guess, is what I'm thinking. All right, can we? Ooh, wow, yeah, that was a. Let's see if I can. Let's take a left here. You know, it's funny though, I think I notice it less on this particular Victory than I have on others, but the transmission is just, I think it's the only complaint I have about this bike so far. Let me just adjust my mirror here if I could. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be a beautiful ride here. Maybe you guys will remember it coming the other way here. Beautiful bike. This is I think I mentioned it before, but this is a custom color by Mom South, and it's just this beautiful burnt orange metallic thing, but it's totally custom. Wow. Wow. Okay. So yeah, one thing I am definitely noticing is that the suspension is really, really taut. I mean, like, it is, the suspension travel is just not there. This is actually much more like riding a Harley, actually, because the rear end is slammed and you're just not getting that suspension travel. Granted, yes, if I were lighter, I think it would be certainly a lot better. So don't always go by me when I talk about suspensions, because just for that very reason, if I were lighter, it really wouldn't be as much of a problem. But being the fat guy that I am, I do notice that, man, when this thing hits bumps, it really hits bumps. So, but let me tell you something else about this. The handling here is sublime. I mean, it is just so easy to kind of flick this around corners. It's just, I am just really, really, really happy with the handling on this thing. I forgot where I was for a second. Had to slow down for that corner. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, basically the seating position is extremely comfortable. The handling is extremely comfortable and very, very capable. One thing I do know about Victories, now this is going to be a little bit different on this one, but the cross country, as it were, has a tremendous lean angle ability. It's like you can lean that thing forever and it just doesn't scrape. It's fantastic. Now again, this one being lowered will have a substantially, you know, shortened lean angle, but again, this isn't a bike I would take to the track necessarily. This is a bike I would take because it's cool. You know, some other differences between this and the cross country. You've got an LED headlight. I think I mentioned the 21-inch wheel up front. I was really curious to find out how that would affect the handling. It doesn't. At low speeds, I think it does a little bit. The rake is the same on the Magnum and the cross country. I think they're both 29 inches. But of course, you got a bigger wheel up front, so I'm sure they've got extended tubes up front to accommodate that. And you've got a lowering link in the back. So really, you know, it's evened out. It's definitely evened out. So you're not really noticing a lot in the handling department. I mean, this riding position is just so comfortable. For me, for my build, it's just perfect. I love this. I mean, my hands are comfortable, my feet are comfortable. I can put them anywhere I want. The bike is exceptionally quiet. So, you know, again, and that's true with the Victories, it's true with Harleys, it's true with anything. I mean, it's just, that's how they come out of the factory. But this thing is, it just has an incredibly high cool factor, I think. I mean, you look at the inside of this fairing, it's completely painted that same exact orange as the rest of the bike. It also has an improved stereo, and it has improved thumb controls down here. Now, I can't really play the stereo for you for a couple of reasons. Number one, it will get muted by YouTube. It'll be a copyright claim and all that. But number two, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to be listening to it through your TV speakers, and it's going to be picked up strictly by the microphone on the GoPro inside my helmet. So really, what good does it do for me to do that? See, there's like that chugging. That's what I'm talking about in the transmission or the engine. Like, because of the lack of torque, it's like a chugging at the very bottom end. And I guess I'm just spoiled. I don't get that with my Indian. But again, these are such different animals. I mean, you know, I was mentioning to Sally while we were filming this that I said it's incredible to me how different this bike is from an Indian Roadmaster, and yet how I can truly like both. Really, I can absolutely love both of these bikes. I think they are both fantastically attractive, and just, again, the cool factor is just off the scale. With the Roadmaster, it's a retro cool factor, and with this, it's almost a futuristic cool factor. But you know, I mean, I gotta say it, guys. I know I'm really not in the sweet spot as far as torque, and I'm gonna figure it out when I get out to Route 1 here. But right now, it's amazing how I am not super impressed with the power output. Now, that being said, guys, let me say this. This is a stock Victory Magnum, okay? Same exact engine setup as the cross country. It's meant for touring, blah, blah, blah. But I have seen and I have ridden Victory Magnums, particularly X1s, with stage 2 cams. And yes, it makes a big difference. They just haul. So this is a kind of a tame setup. And, you know, this bike is really and truly about the looks, very much like these trees. Look at, how do you like this for like a nice little New England, whatever I just said, nice little New England Friday afternoon, mid-October. Very nice. Oh my gosh, this bike is one of my favorite handling bikes ever. The way it just gently rolls into a corner is just fantastic. It's very, very hard to be stressed on this motorcycle. It really is. I mean, it just takes away everything. It's just fantastic, and yet it still gives you a lot of feel when cornering. It's not like it's numb, and you certainly feel the road. I mean, it's not like the suspension is, again, the Roadmaster, different animal. The equivalent to this in the Indian line would be more like the Chieftain. The Chieftain has a more... Oh, okay. Well, why don't you just turn? That's fine. That's okay. It's coming around a blind corner. It wasn't his fault. But the Chieftain just has a little bit more of that sort of refined feel. It's a little bit more Lexus-like, whereas this is more Toyota-like, but not like Toyota Corolla-like, more like just kind of like a Toyota, like the old Supra, kind of. I mean, you know, like a cool Toyota. You know, this seat really is super comfortable. It's like having a built-in backrest. There's a nice scoop to it that you can just kind of, oh, I can't see anything. Okay. I was like, that just freaked me out. Like, the sun was just everywhere, so I just couldn't see anything. So what do? I just pull in the clutch and coast, so at least I'll hit something at, you know, 34 miles an hour instead of 35. That's better. You know, I said I was going to hit the gas when I got onto Route 1. This bike has got 36 miles on it. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't. Hang on. That's giving me... It doesn't have 36 miles. That's my mileage right now. 36, 39 miles per gallon. Where are we at here? What do we got? What is the mileage? Oh, 38 miles. Okay. So, obviously, barely even starting to break in. So, I'm really not going to hit the gas. I'm sure I can find like a cross-country or something like that to test out the 106 power plant. Again, I had one for the longest time with my Victory Judge. I did have a different exhaust. I had the Cobra tri-ovals, but my gosh, I just can't believe how impressed I am with this motorcycle. It feels solid. It feels. In fact, you know what? Well, no. I was curious about the buffeting because, as I recall, this particular windshield, I rented a cross-country for a couple of weeks, as you guys saw in my earlier videos, and I did not like the windshield. I felt that you just got a lot of buffeting. I'm not totally sure I'm getting that with this. I mean, I'm getting a little bit, but I'm only doing like 45 right now. So I guess I can't really talk about it too much. At highway speeds, I don't know that this windshield would be perfect. But again, fixable, not really a problem. I've known for a long time that cross-country's, this particular windshield, I mean the cross-country tour windshield is giant, and then you get this windshield which is just Buffettville, and there needs to be an in-between, and there are third-party manufacturers, aftermarket guys that do make windshields that are in between. So again, you know, not a big deal. This bike just feels incredibly stable. I mean, really, it is honestly... You know, I don't want to give this bike back. I really am enjoying this. You know what I don't enjoy, and I never have? I don't enjoy the way that Victory does their self-canceling blinkers. I don't get it. When I had my Judge, it felt like that was all I was doing. Was just turning on my, turning on my blinkers again after they turned off. They just don't stay on. It's incredible. Yeah, see, it does sound better under throttle, but I'm not really hitting this much at all. Not with 39 miles on it, I'm not. But my gosh, okay, so actually, let me just get up to speed a little bit and see about the buffeting. Yeah, see, at about 60, that buffeting does kind of kick in, and my helmet's getting tossed around a bit, so it's really not too far different from what it was a couple of years ago when I rented that cross-country. But I'm telling you guys, just as far as ergonomics, and even the seat and everything, this has got to be about the most comfortable bike I've ever been on. This thing is fantastic. Oh my gosh. And of course, the fact that it's lowered and the fact that I'm short means I can put my feet down, which means, you know, being flat-footed just adds a measure of confidence. And just adds a measure of kind of relaxed riding that's really nice. You know, I'm sorry if you're getting a lot of wind noise. I guess I could fully close my helmet, that would help. So now, if you hear my, oh, that's amazing. It's like a plane up there, very low, but turning very hard. Huh, hope it's okay. Man, you know what? I think I need to do like another lap. I wonder if that's going to be okay. I think it would be. I'm going to do one more lap here. I'm going to go the other way, just because I know some of those bumps over there, so Hopefully that's okay. I don't typically do that with these bikes. I don't want to put a lot of miles on them, but this really is a custom thing. And I have a feeling that if somebody wants to buy this, you know, because of the paint job and because of the bike that it is, I don't think it matters, honestly, whether there's, you know, 25 miles on it or 48 miles on it. I don't think it's going to matter. Hopefully they're cool with that. But I need to do another one because this is really interesting to me. This is just, I mean, you know, so let's just get a little bit deeper into this. I love the instrumentation here. I think it's just fantastic. You know, everything is just a nice, easy glance. I've got my gas, I've got speed, I've got my gear indicator, I've got my tack, I've got my battery. It's all laid out across there. I've got outside temperature, I've got time, I've got a changeable display as far as mileage and all that stuff with the flick of this little trigger over here. Now again, I'm going to say it again. This suspension, did you hear that? That was me getting about 2 inches shorter. You know what? That's actually freaking me out, just how it's really, you know, I guess I could adjust the shock, huh? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should pull over and adjust the shock. Because I feel like that's not, I'm not giving this its fair due. Because honestly, guys, I mean, number one, if you're lighter, you're just not going to feel it like I do. But number two, it's not fair to the bike. If there's an adjustment that I'm not doing, then I should really do it before I complain. But something about the seating position and the uprightness of my spine, combined with those bumps, is compressing things in such a way that it's like really, like, there's just a lot of pain. So I'm going to pull over, see if I can adjust the, I'm just trying to think about a good place to do it. This is Gillette Stadium, home of the New England Patriots. Those of you that hate the Patriots may as well just unsubscribe from me now, because I am an avid Patriots fan and have been probably since I was about 5 years old, really. So mid to late 70s. Went through a lot of bad seasons with them and have enjoyed the good seasons. That's a cool little BMW M3. What a nice car. I mean, the newer ones aren't super exciting to me, but that's a nice, kind of a more classic. So one little downside, I'm seeing it's a downside, but it's so common to just about every bike. The gear indicator here, oh man, that's right, there's a bump up here, isn't there, that I always get my back, what am I going to say here? I always get my back killed on? Is that what I was going to say? I just don't want to, like, let me see. I don't want to bring the bike back to the dealership being towed behind an ambulance, you know? Where is that bump? I'll know it when I hit it. Let me look. It might have been that. No. Might have been this. Might have been that one. I don't know. But I lifted up a little bit just so I could avoid the injury. So, all right. What was I saying? I was saying something seemed like it was important. Well, let's just make this turn up here, and we'll find a place to adjust things, hopefully. Because there will be bumps to hit, and I do want to give this thing a fair chance. This thing, it's just, oh man, it just runs so well. It's amazing how it is smoother than other Victory. Whoa, hey. No. We have a light system here, you know? And it's like, we go, then you go. Never the twain shall meet. All right, so let's pull into a Papagino's here. Whew. Wow. Weird. Okay. Let us go over here. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna get off this thing, see if I can adjust the suspension. Man, this paint is just amazing. Love it. All right, what do we got in here? Do we have a... Ooh, that's not good. I was kind of hoping that we might have... Oh, wait a minute. Just a... Nope, that's an iPod case. That's cool, actually. Gives you a nice little Velcro pocket and then a USB thing right there. You know, I'm not seeing an air pump here. Oh, unless... Boy, you know what? Yes, people, I'm just talking to myself here. You know what? This is why it's called a first ride, because I try to do it without... I don't want to say I try to do it without preparation, but I don't do extensive preparations. I don't think this has an air suspension that's actually... Let's just take this thing off here. Oh yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, okay. So there is no adjustment. Okay. Alright, so that's fine. It is what it is. So just take my word for it. If you're lighter, it's just not going to be a big issue for you. Okay. That's so great. Okay, so this, see, now the blinker turned off again. Oh yeah, my gosh. It's just the geometry, the handlebars, everything is just set up for such great handling. Now I am going to lift myself off the seat here for this railroad thing, because if I didn't, I would be a freaking midget right now. Now, there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't start out as a... Well, I did actually kind of start out as a midget, but I grew. I'd hate to just go in reverse already. But you know what? All these corners, oh my gosh, I mean, they're just so effortless. I never thought I'd say it, but even more so than my Roadmaster, I feel like this is just effortless to turn. It's got that, it's just that nice steep 29-degree rake. Now, you know, yeah, there's a little bit of vibration coming through the handlebars, but I'm also sitting at 2,800 RPM, which, you know, is a little bit higher than you typically would. So let me just go up a smidge here. At 2,000, it's basically gone. You know, a lot of times the stock mirrors are pretty useless. These are actually not bad. Again, I mean, at the risk of sounding repetitive, when you're wide like I am, a lot of the stock mirrors are kind of like, they don't really protrude out enough. These actually are pretty good. You know, I wish I could get across the feeling to you. It's really, it's like, you know, if I'm going to be a reviewer person, I should probably get better with words. But this bike feels, more so than some other bikes I've been on, like it was designed to... Holy crap, I cannot see. Whoa, I'm going to follow those lights. That was like weird. I mean, totally. I was just completely... I'm also going to open my visor. I've got a sun visor on, and all it did is just make the sun go like everywhere in my vision. But this bike, more so than others, feels like it was, like it's very comprehensive. Like it really is, it all fits together. It's everything from the front to the back is meant to work together, purpose built. You know, some of you out there may know what I'm trying to say, but some bikes feel like, geez, did the people that designed the rear know what the front was doing? Did the people that, you know, designed the throttle know what the engine guys were doing? This really doesn't have any of that. This is just really, really well put together, and it feels like, I'm gonna, yeah, see, it's not that bad. I mean, at that speed, I didn't really get a lot of death to spine motion there. Is there a heel shifter? No, there isn't. I don't think that'd be cool on a bike like this. I'm telling you, I just feel like this is so, I don't know, unique, this thing. I mean, it really is. It's just awesome. I hope that Victory will follow Indian and put, say, like, you know, an infotainment center in here, and I think that'd be really cool. You know, I've never really taken, outside of that Harley, which I had for a few days. Yep, that's just me getting shorter. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I always forget that last bump. What is the deal? Like, every single time. Can't you guys warn me? No, I guess that's not going to work, is it? Speed hump. Thanks. I just died on the last one. Now you're telling me there's a speed hump. That's nice. Okay. But yeah, I mean, this is such a gorgeous bike. I really almost didn't want to take this out. I thought maybe I could just take another Victory Magnum out that didn't have the custom paint, because I just didn't want anything to happen to this. But then I remembered, no, I have confidence, darn it. I can't imagine. This thing with pipes would be absolutely amazing. And also with pipes, you know, you wouldn't hear as much of that kind of like, I don't know, when you're just leaving, you get that, just leaving? When you're just starting out on the throttle, you get that little shaking, kind of shimmy. I don't think you'd hear it as much. I don't think it'd be as, let's see here. See, I got to short shift it a little bit because I don't want to go high on the RPMs. Again, it's not broken in, but I just wanted to get a feel for kind of the low RPM torque, and it's not blowing me away, but it really is not. I mean, it's acceptable. It's, to be honest with you guys, it's probably very similar to the Harley Electra Glide that I had ridden. That's a 103, this is a 106. I think it's very similar. I think it should be faster on paper, but I don't think it necessarily is. And that's not a bad thing, like I said. I mean, it's you know, for what it is, it's fine. Oh my gosh, why do I love riding this motorcycle so freaking much? It's just incredibly comfortable. And, you know, again, with Victory and with Indian, the one thing that Polaris does that's so, well, not the one thing, but one thing that they do that's just so great is that you get this feeling that you're in the bike. And with almost every Harley that I've sat on, it's exactly that. You feel like you're sitting on the bike. And again, it goes back to that cohesive feeling, to that feeling like you're one with the bike, and it's just an extension of you. I love that feeling. I haven't had it on that many motorcycles, and but this is one where I definitely feel that. So one thing that you really do get with this bike that you just don't get on really almost any other bike is the storage space. I am just constantly shocked at how big these bags are. Oh, really? You guys are going to stop for me? That's so nice. Thank you for not killing me today. That's nice. Incidentally, these have LED headlights too, which the standard cross country does not. So that's kind of a nice plus too. I love the LED headlights. It made me think of that when people didn't pull out and kill me. But these bags are just huge, absolutely huge. And my gosh, when you talk about like the cross-country tour and the top box that goes on there, it's like you could just move your house basically with like 3 trips on a cross-country tour. And this probably has about, I don't know, maybe 60% of the space of that, because it's got the it doesn't have the top box, but it's got the giant saddlebags. You know, guys, I really don't want to bring this back to the dealership. Do you think they'd be mad? Like if I just didn't bring it back, I mean, would they notice? They might notice. Why don't you, well, no, okay, I guess you can now, sorry. Okay. Yeah, but I'll let you go, because you've been waiting longer than I have. Okay, now you can go, and I'll go. We'll make a nice, easy turn. Oh, this is so nice. It leans in really nicely. Massachusetts in the fall. This is a little early. In about a week and a half or so, I think, will be our foliage will be peaked. Probably about a week. Planning on taking my wife actually for a nice drive next weekend out to a restaurant that I just went to with my group, actually. The Steaming Tender out in Palmer, Mass. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, when you can spread your legs out to any position you want on these massive floorboards, you can basically sit here and ride this like it's a cafe, and you can also sit here and ride it as if your feet are up on highway pegs, and you're still just on the floorboards. It's an amazing feeling. It's really great. And again, I don't know what it is. These handlebars are just perfect. Absolutely fantastic. It does feel, though, when I look at this, like there's some wasted space right here. Like somehow this thing down here could be integrated up in here better, and not just hovering down here where your thumb has to come way down here. That being said, let me tell you a pet peeve of mine. Like in cars, for instance, when manufacturers take the take cruise control and they put it on the steering wheel instead of, say, like, I don't know, volume controls, or like my Camaro's got that. It's got a thing where the volume control is in the back of the steering wheel, and all the stuff are like cruise controls in the front. And I'm like, what? Who cares? Like, how often do I really need to access cruise control? Does it have to be, you know, just super accessible for me? I don't think so. So the cruise control being down there isn't a big deal. I think I'd like the radio controls to be a little bit more, maybe further up. I don't know. But still, this pod here is a better design, I think, than what you've seen. And in fact, I'll bet you it's also going to set them up to put in, say, like a GPS unit or some sort of MMI in the dash at some point. See, because this is something you'd use a lot. You'd use the volume, you would use, and actually, you know, I've got the clutch in right now, so I can't really rotate my hand down there, but typically riding along, I think I could, so I don't think that'd be an issue. So really, it's not that bad. Now, one thing about, I think I started talking about this before, the gear indicator. As you can see right now, it's got this little dash, and the reason for that is that this, unlike Indian, this uses a calculator based on RPM. So you've got, you know, engine speed and then road speed, and it figures out what gear you're in, which is a fine system. However, if you're at a stop and you're not completely sure that you whack this thing all the way down to first gear, then you're gonna have to whack it again, because this is not going to tell you until you start moving. So that's the only downside to that, really. All right, guys. Again, it's not Speedy Gonzales over here, but it's really workable. You know, this is kind of like, I mean, the bike is so beautiful, and it's kind of like, if you want just an incredibly fast bike, you're going to go get a sport bike, or you're going to go get a, you know, like a Ducati Diavel or something like that. And if you want an extremely comfortable big old cruiser, you're not going to get huge amounts of speed. This is in the middle. This is sort of that. It's not a Tourer. It doesn't have a trunk, and it certainly is not slow. Now again, remember, I'm not revving this very high because I just, not with, you know, 49 miles on it now. I'm not going to do that. But I'm really not getting a huge feeling of power here. But does that matter for the target market for this bike? I don't think so. What matters to the target market, I think, the target market, I like that. is that this thing has got an awesome radio, it's got an awesome paint job. All of the Victory Magnums have very cool paint jobs. This one just particularly has an actual custom paint job done by the dealer. So, you know what I mean? They're all different than the cross country, for example. But, you know, that's why people are going to be buying this. It's lowered, it's got the LED, it's cool. It's just a cool bike. The speed isn't everything. But let me also say one more thing, too, about that. You know, I sometimes talk about how, let me go over here again. I want to finish up this thought. I talk about a lot of things about how, well, you know, this is stock, and you can always get it changed, and this and that. And you really can. Because let me tell you something, with maybe a couple of $1,000s of modifications, maybe some pipes, air intake, cams, probably a power commander or something like that. All right, maybe it's 3,000. You can get a bike that is going to blow away a lot of bikes on the road. So don't let my remarks about stock performance put you off. If performance is what you're interested in, these bikes are really, I think, priced pretty good for what you get for value. This particular bike, by the way, I know I didn't say it in the little conversation with the camera there. This particular bike is I think the MSRP is $26,995 or something like that. They've got it on sale for $24,995, so that's pretty impressive. So really, throw a couple $1,000s at it and you're going to have something that just screams. Let me just get off this bike for a sec and see if you can hear anything. It is quiet. This is really more like you let the looks say it all as opposed to the sound. But again, you can make the sound say it all. Man, I'm impressed with that bike. Wow. Really, really impressed. I mean, really, this is my favorite Victory, I think, that I've probably ever ridden. And I've ridden a bunch, but that's just amazing. Wow. So yes, great test ride, as always. Thank you so much to Mom South here in Foxborough. Much appreciated for the opportunity, and hope you guys enjoyed the ride, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.